The morning of May 22, 2025, began like any other in Claremont. Birds chirped, residents prepared for their day. The sun was making its ascent. No one predicted the horror from the skies. Suddenly, a deafening roar ripped through the tranquility. This was not the familiar sound of distant aircraft. This was something terrifyingly close. An explosion followed, shaking homes. Windows rattled and car alarms blared. Residents rushed outside, confused and fearful. They witnessed utter devastation. A plume of thick black smoke billowed into the sky. Debris, twisted and burning, was scattered across lawns and streets, the air filled with the acrid smell of jet fuel and burning materials. The immediate aftermath was pure chaos. People ran from their homes, some screaming, others in stunned silence. Neighbors checked on neighbors, their voices laced with anxiety. Emergency sirens soon wailed in the distance, growing louder as first responders raced towards the unfolding disaster. The aircraft at the center of this tragedy was a Cessna 550, a popular twin-engine business jet. It was capable of carrying several passengers and was often used for corporate travel. On this particular Thursday, it was en route to Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport in San Diego. Aboard the jet were 6 individuals, their journey intended to be routine, perhaps for business meetings or other professional engagements in the vibrant city. They would have been preparing for landing, anticipating the end of their flight, completely unaware of the catastrophic turn their travel was about to take. Among those presumed to have perished was Dave Shapiro. He was a well-known figure in the music industry, a talent agent. Many also remembered him as the former drummer for the metal band The Devil Wears Prada. 2 other unnamed employees from Shapiro's music agency were also reported to be on board. The loss of these individuals would send ripples through their respective communities, a stark reminder of the human cost of such an accident. Each person on that jet had a story, a family, friends and colleagues who would soon be mourning their sudden and tragic departure. The news of their deaths would be a heavy blow to their loved ones and the industries they were a part of. In the critical minutes leading up to the crash, the pilot of the Cessna 550 was in communication with air traffic control. These exchanges, recorded by liveatc.net, offer a chilling glimpse into the cockpit's awareness of the deteriorating weather conditions. The pilot's voice, though professional, carried a hint of concern. He was actively seeking information about what lay ahead as they prepared for their approach to Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport. One particular phrase from the pilot stands out. He asked the air traffic controller, "I just want to see what I'm in for here." This question reveals a pilot attempting to make an informed decision, to understand the precise nature of the weather he was about to fly into. The controller's response would have been critical at this juncture, providing the data upon which the pilot would base his next actions. The responsibility for the safety of the aircraft and everyone on board rested heavily on his shoulders. The air traffic controller, in turn, relayed the available information. This dialogue, captured for posterity, would become a key focus for investigators. The information relayed by the air traffic controller was stark. Visibility at Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport was reported to be only half a mile. Furthermore, the cloud ceiling was a mere 200 feet. These conditions are considered poor for flying, significantly increasing the difficulty of a visual approach and landing. Despite these challenging reported conditions, the pilot of the Cessna 550 made the fateful decision to proceed with the landing attempt. This decision is one that will be scrutinized heavily by the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB. Pilots are trained to assess risks and make judgment calls based on their experience, the aircraft's capabilities, and the available information. The choice to continue the approach under such marginal weather parameters highlights the pressures and complexities of piloting. This decision to proceed set in motion the final, tragic sequence of events. Had the pilot opted to divert to an alternate airport with better weather, the outcome would have been entirely different. Compounding the already difficult weather situation was a critical failure in the airport's own equipment. The automated weather system at Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport, known as an ASOS or AWOS, had been non-functional for over a day. These systems are crucial for providing pilots with real-time accurate weather information specific to the airport environment, including wind speed and direction, visibility, cloud cover, and temperature. Without this system operational, pilots and air traffic controllers were at a significant disadvantage, relying on less precise or potentially outdated information. Because the airport's own automated system was down, the air traffic controller had to resort to reporting conditions from a nearby airport. This discrepancy could have played a crucial role in the pilot's assessment of the situation, potentially leading to a misjudgment of the actual risk. As the Cessna 550 business jet continued its approach under the low cloud ceiling and poor visibility, it descended over the densely populated Claremont neighborhood. Residents below were going about their Thursday morning, oblivious to the drama unfolding just a few hundred feet above their rooftops. The sound of an aircraft overhead is not uncommon in this area, given the proximity to Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport. However, this aircraft was flying dangerously low. The pilot, battling the murky conditions, was likely focused intently on his instruments, trying to catch a glimpse of the runway approach lights or the runway itself. In such low-visibility situations, pilots transition from instrument flight rules or IFR to visual flight rules or VFR at a critical decision height. If the runway environment is not visible at that point, a missed approach procedure is mandatory. It is unclear exactly what the pilot saw or didn't see in those final moments, but the aircraft's trajectory suggests a struggle to maintain the correct glide path and alignment. Tragically, during this precarious final descent, the aircraft flew too low. It tragically clipped a power line. The impact, when it came, was devastating. The Cessna 550, having clipped the power line, crashed directly into the military housing neighborhood. It didn't just land, it slammed into the community with incredible force, disintegrating on impact and unleashing a torrent of jet fuel. The highly flammable fuel ignited instantly, creating a massive fireball that engulfed everything in its immediate vicinity. Homes, cars, and trees were suddenly consumed by flames. The sound of the crash was described by witnesses as a tremendous explosion, a sound that reverberated through the neighborhood and shook the very ground. The scene quickly transformed into an inferno. Cars parked on the street were turned into blazing wrecks. Parts of the aircraft, now twisted and burning metal, were strewn across a wide area, a testament to the violence of the impact. One home suffered a direct hit, its roof torn off by the descending jet before the structure was engulfed in the subsequent fire. The heat was intense, driving back onlookers and hampering the initial efforts of brave residents who may have tried to help. Thick, acrid smoke billowed hundreds of feet into the air, visible for miles around, a grim beacon signaling the disaster. The human toll of the San Diego jet crash was immense and heartbreaking. All 6 people aboard the Cessna 550 business jet were presumed dead. This included the music talent agent Dave Shapiro, a significant loss to the music world, and 2 of his employees. The identities of the other 3 individuals on board were not immediately released, but each represented a life cut tragically short, a family shattered, and a community left to mourn. Incredibly, amidst the widespread destruction and the fiery inferno on the ground, a miracle occurred. No fatalities were reported among the residents of the impacted neighborhood. One family, whose home bore the brunt of the crash as the aircraft tore off their roof before the house was consumed by flames, managed to escape unharmed. This family of 4, along with their dogs, made a harrowing escape from what could have easily been a fatal situation. The contrast between the fate of those on the aircraft and the family on the ground is stark. For the victims aboard the jet, their stories ended abruptly and violently. For the surviving family, while they escaped with their lives, their home was destroyed, and their sense of security was undoubtedly shattered. As the smoke began to clear and the fires were extinguished, the grim task of investigation commenced. Federal investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, arrived at the crash site on Friday, May 23, 2025, the day after the tragic incident. Their mission is painstaking and crucial to determine the exact cause of the crash and identify any contributing factors. This process involves meticulously combing through the wreckage, recovering the aircraft's flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder, often referred to as the black boxes, interviewing witnesses, and analyzing all available data, including air traffic control communications and weather information. The investigation will be a complex undertaking. NTSB officials are highly skilled in piecing together the puzzle of an aviation disaster. They will examine the aircraft's maintenance records, the pilot's training and experience, and the operational procedures at Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport. The malfunctioning automated weather system will undoubtedly be a significant area of focus. Investigators will want to understand why it was out of service, how its absence impacted the information available to the pilot, and whether it played a direct role in the sequence of events leading to the crash. The findings of the NTSB investigation will likely take many months, or even more than a year, to be finalized and released to the public.